Alright folks, welcome to Yak Math videos for your calculus limits quiz number 2 review video. Today we'd like to thank our long list of sponsors, yay for Chinatown, Coffee Espresso, Ruby Tuesdays, Cliff Bar, Laura, not Bar, Laura Bar, they're not going to like that, Organic Coffee and Tea Companies, Ultra Running, and gluten-free cupcakes. Also special shout out to $10 Starbucks gift cards. Hint, hint, wink, wink. I'd like to thank all our sponsors for their generous support. Guys, take a look at number 1. Evaluate the limit, find the limit. Here you simply factor the top and bottom. The x plus 3's cancel. And then be like Glade, and an in-house sponsor, and plug it in. Nothing kills the smell of freshmen quite like Glade. You get 3/2. Guys, we did this one in class today. H minus 1 to the third, you need to rewrite as h minus 1 squared times h minus 1. All right, use the squaring trick here, and then a lot with the arrows, all right? 3 terms by 2 terms, going to give you 6 terms total. All right, so that's what this simplifies to give you this. Then you add 1, cancel out some things. Cancel out the negative 1 and positive 1. Everything has an h, so get rid of the h in the denominator by taking an h away. Plug 0 in for h, you get 3. Guys, number 3, x to the 4th minus 1 is a difference of 2 perfect squares. It's x squared minus 1, x squared plus 1. X squared minus 1 can factor to be x minus 1, x plus 1. Down here, you take out an x. You're left with x squared plus 5x minus 6, which factors to be plus 6 here, minus 1 there. Minus 1's cancel, then plug it in time, 4/7. 4 is a little quick because really anytime you have a square root involving a limit going to infinity, guys, x squared is what really counts. So this is approximately the limit as x goes to infinity of x squared. What's the square root of x squared? Simply x. You have the limit as x is going to infinity. You have the same powers, so the ratio is 1/2. That is your answer. This one's real easy, guys. Where's the highest power? It's tied. It's going towards negative infinity. Same rule as it's going to positive infinity. It's the ratio of the coefficients. -1 over -3 is 1/3. Very quick question there. This one, not as quick. Anytime, first off, if you plug infinity in, you're going to get infinity minus infinity 0, guys. That doesn't tell you anything. So you got to multiply top and bottom by the conjugate of that root. And that, minus x. So anyway, top and bottom, you get multiplied by that. Root times itself, everything just kind of comes on out. Negative x times x is x squared. All right, so the x squareds cancel, the negative x squared and the x squared, that is, leaving you with 4x plus 1 up top. Now remember, this thing's going towards infinity. So x squared plus 4x plus 1 in the square root, really just mostly affected by that x squared. So that's why I say approximately this. The square root of x squared is just x. I leave that x on the outside though, all right? X plus x is 2x. The limits as x goes to infinity of this, you have the same highest power top and bottom. 4/2 is 2. We got rid of 7. You're welcome. Here's 8. Simply factor difference of 2 perfect squares. X minus 2x plus 2. This is a difference of 2 perfect cubes. Take the cubed root of x to the 3rd and 8, x minus 2, square the first term. Opposite sign, the inner product, 2 times x, square the second term. X minus 2 cancels. Be like Glade and plug it in. You get 4/12, which is 1/3. All right. Let's do some more limits. Top and bottom gets the square root of x squared plus 1 plus x. All right, so you're going to have x squared plus 1 minus x squared, leaving you with 1 up top. Folks, you don't really have to do much more. The limit as x goes to infinity, where's the highest power? It's in the denominator. The top doesn't, so the answer is 0. Sometimes, guys, the answer is 0 or infinity, all right? So that is fine. Here, the limit as x goes to infinity, so it's simply 2x squared because, remember, it's approximately, that 1 doesn't really matter as x is getting much larger. What's the square root of x squared? It's x on the outside, but the square root of 2 is not a nice answer. It's just root 2. The highest power is the same, so take the ratio of root 2/3. 11's on the other sheet, so here it is. There's number 11. Multiply top and bottom by that conjugates. All right? That means up top, again, you're going to do this times this. The x squareds cancel. 4x squareds cancel. All right? So this is approximately the limit as x goes to infinity of root 4x squared plus 3x is just going to be 4x squared. Take the square root of that. It's 2x. 2x plus 2x is 4x. Same highest power. It's 3/4. All right? On 12, they both have an x in common, so factor out the x. This does factor. -5, -1 are the factors. X squared minus 1 is the difference of two perfect squares. X minus 1, x plus 1, they cancel. You're left with x times x plus 1 over x minus 5. Plug it in to get -1/2. Again, if I make a boo-boo, let me know, and you could earn a brownie points. Guys, up here, we did these a few last week. Multiply top and bottom. This was actually one of the first root ones we did. Multiply top and bottom by that conjugate. You're going to have x squared plus 9 falls out. -5 times +5 is a -25. Well, that's just x squared minus 16, which actually factors to be x plus 4x minus 4. So those cancel. Now I can plug it in. X is going towards -4. And you get -4/5. Again, pause this at any time if you need to look at that work in detail. This is going to have to be a quicker video. Guys, 14 is right here. So actually, this was one of the first ones we did. That one was a little more complicated. Multiply top and bottom by that conjugates. All right, 25 plus x falls out. -5 times 5 is a -25. You're left with x over x times this. That cancels to be 1/. Plug 0 in. You get 5 plus 5, you get a 10th. You get a 10th. Guys, 15 is pretty easy. All right, so you have a piecewise function. If the limit of f of x as x goes to 0 from the right, that means x is greater than 0. X is greater than 0, but pretty close to it, so we're using the second equation. Simply plug 0 in for x. If x is going to 0 from the left, that means x is less than 0. We'll plug 0 in. -0 is just 0. The square root of that is 0. So the limit as a whole doesn't exist because 3 doesn't equal 0. Right here, going to 3 from the left, that means it's less than 3. So we're going to put it right here. 3 minus 3 is 0. Going to 3 from the right, it's greater than 3. So use that equation. Plug 3 in there. You still get 0. So the limit as a whole is 0 because the left limit equals the right limits. All right, folks, intermediate value theorem, we talked about that Wednesday in class. Today, simply plug 1 in. For x, you get -2. Plug 2 in for x, you get 25. If I went from a negative to a positive or vice versa, I had to jump across 0. That proves that there is a root in between 1 and 2. Okay, 417, find an equation of the tangent line to the curve at x equals 0. That's your a value. If you want to know what x is, f of 0, simply plug 0 in for x, you get 2. So the point is 0, 2, like you see on these examples. All right, guys, you have to have this memorized. The limit of the limits of f of x minus f of a over x minus a as x approaches a. That's what we're using here. That's how you get the slope. I'm sorry, that's the slope. That's an M. That looks bad. All right. That's the slope. All right. So what is f of x? F of x is that equation, 2 over 1 minus 3x. F of a, I plug 0 in for x, I get 2. So sometimes you have to plug it in. All over x minus 0. Folks, if I want to put this together right up here, I got to combine, I got to make a common denominator. So I'm going to give the top and the bottom what the other denominator has. Okay, now be careful. -2 times 1 is a -2. -2 times a -3x, though, that's how I got the positive 6x. 2 minus 2 cancels. Notice here you have a numerator, here you have a numerator. So the x's are going to cancel. Okay, you're left with this. Plug 0 in for x, you get a slope of 6. That's what the slope is. If I give you the point 0.02, that's your y value, that's your x value. Just use point slope form. That's the equation of a line. You can say this right here, this top one, or that bottom one if you want to use slope intercept form. All right, all of 18 is on our final page. All right, so that's your equation. Remember, I changed 18a. That's the point, so I give you a and I give you f of a. All right, so there it is, f of x minus f of 4, all over x minus 4. Plug things in. This is what you're going to get. This factor is to be, guys, take a hint. That's going to be one of the factors. X minus 4, x minus 1 over x minus 4. Those cancel out. Plug 4 in for x. You get a slope of 3. And then use your point 4, comma 2. And then really it's just point slope form. So that's totally fine. You can stop there. If you want slope intercept form, that's also right. Okay, so we have this one here. All right, the limit as x goes to 12 of f of x minus f of 12 over x minus 12. All right, that's f of x. F of 12 is 6. It's right there over x minus 12. Guys, I have a root, so I got to multiply top and bottom by the conjugate of that root. We'll make sure to practice that one on Thursday. So you're left with 3x. Negative 6 times 6 is just negative 36. All right, you got to factor out the 3, and then boom, the x minus 12s cancel. All right, then I can plug 12 in for x, and I get a fourth. All right, I'm using point slope form, and that's my equation. Again, I could do some simplifying and get that. And the last one, 18c right there. That's a, that's f of a. So my slope is the limit as x goes to 2 of f of x minus f of 2 all over x minus 2. All right, that's f of x. Minus f of 2. Okay, so that one was really on its own. I got to factor that. Hint, hint, like we talked about in class. How do I get 4x? It's probably going to be 4x and x, because, again, I need x minus 2 in there somewhere for it to cancel. And what multiplies the 6? 3 and 2. If you check it, you get 3x minus 8x, which is a negative 5x. That's how it factors. This cancels out. Okay, the check's over there as well. The limits as x goes to 2 of 4x plus 3, plug 2 in for x, you get a slope of 11. Use point slope form, and there's your equation right there. All right, we'll talk more about this tomorrow. Finished in the nick of time. This is Yak Math Videos with your Calc 1 Limits Quiz Review number 2 signing out.